This is Mac OS Ken.
Considering watches and wearables, China is still a giant bleeping mess, and Facebook pays researchers to agree with Facebook. It's Friday, the 28th of May, 2021. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by Headspace. Meditation made simple. Get a free 1-month trial at headspace.com/macosken. This show is also supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/macosken. Remember when we used to debate whether tablets should be counted among traditional PCs for the purposes of figuring market share? Yeah, it kind of feels like we should have a similar conversation around wearable technology. I saw a couple of stories on wearables numbers yesterday that seem to be at odds. Read the fine print, though, and they are not. Both IDC and Counterpoint research seem to see Apple Watch commanding more market in the first quarter of 2021 versus the same quarter a year earlier, though you have to read deep into the IDC stuff to see it. A piece from Mac Rumors covered the IDC numbers. Scanning the firm's chart, IDC put Apple's first quarter wearables market share at just under 29%. That is down from the just over 32% it enjoyed in the first quarter of 2020. Wow, we did enjoy things in the first quarter of 2020, didn't we? Anyway, a piece from iMore covered the Counterpoint numbers, which seemed to show something different. They didn't, but they seemed to. According to the figures, according to iMore, Apple took a 33.5% share of Q1, up from 30.3% on the same quarter last year. See, where I stumbled is on what they were counting. IDC was counting wearables, while Counterpoint was counting smartwatches specifically. Limit the discussion to Apple Watch, and the firms seem to agree. Apple Watch grew its market share in the March quarter versus the same quarter a year earlier. According to IDC, Apple started 2021 the same way it ended 2020, as the clear leader in the worldwide wearables market. Appetite for its smartwatches remained strong, with the less expensive SE and Series 3 gaining further traction in the market, while its earwear, inclusive of AirPods and Beats, showed sequential declines after reaching record levels in the fourth quarter of 2020. Now, it's not that people like the hearables less. Rather, there's more stuff in the wearables category now. A lot of it's less expensive than the kit offered by market leaders like Apple and Samsung. Put them all together, and what have you got? Shrinking market share for the biggest players and more wearable tech than ever before. The Mac Rumors report on IDC's numbers indicates that sales of wearables rose 34.4% in the first quarter. Companies shipped a total of 104.6 million units from January through March, the first time companies have moved over 100 million wearables in a March quarter. Of course, Apple doesn't break out watches versus AirPods in reporting its wearables, home, and accessories revenue. Frustratingly, IDC doesn't even guess. On the watch specifically, Counterpoint sings a similar song to IDC's where entry-level models are concerned, where IDC saw the less expensive SE and Series 3 gaining further traction in the market. iMore has Counterpoint senior analyst Soo-Jung Lim saying Apple was able to further solidify its leadership position in the market by widening the portfolio from Watch SE to Series 6 at the right time. Another masterful use of Apple Kit as attention grabber. Every tech site on Thursday, including CNET, ran a piece about car maker Kia giving away Apple Watches to new car buyers. But it's only one model of car, and it's only the first 1,500 of them. On Thursday, CNET says Kia announced more details on its 2022 EV6 First Edition, and these first 1,500 cars will come with an Apple Watch as a gift. Kia said the free smartwatch will help owners connect to the Kia Connect suite of services bundled with the electric vehicle. Really, though, I'm thinking the cost of 1,500 Apple Watches is cheap versus the amount of free press Kia got for giving away 1,500 Apple Watches. That's especially true when you consider that they're free with the purchase of a car. Installing updates for Apple Watch Series 3 is about to get both more reliable and more cumbersome. After ongoing reports of trouble updating the oldest model Apple still sells, 9to5Mac says the company has a plan: unpair your watch, then update it. With the latest versions of iOS and watchOS, the piece says, Apple seems to have given up trying to force users to delete apps and media manually, which almost never solves the problem. Reports I saw said Apple was suggesting people unpair to update, though a screenshot in Portuguese from a 9to5Mac reader on Twitter reads less like a suggestion and more like a roadblock. To install the watchOS update, the message says, unpair your Apple Watch and pair it again in the Apple Watch app on your iPhone. All of this has 9to5Mac wondering whether watchOS 7 will be the end of the line for Apple Watch Series 3. We'll likely find out at the WWDC keynote in a little over a week. Speaking of WWDC, Apple has tweaked its developers forum heading into the big virtual show. Depth and context seem to be the names of the improvement game. According to Mac Rumors, Apple is adding the ability for developers to post comments directly on questions to help provide context for the answer, the ability to subscribe to an RSS feed for a specific tag, the ability to see the description of a tag so developers are better able to choose the appropriate one, and more. WWDC 2021 is set to run the 7th of June through the 11th. The socially distanced show kicks off with an opening keynote on Monday the 7th at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Which is stickier, iOS or Apple's dealings with China? Apple's first iCloud data center in mainland China goes online. That was the headline from iDownload blog. Citing a local report from Xinhua, the piece says the data center, built in cooperation with a state-owned company, fired up on Tuesday, the 25th of May. Basically, if Apple wanted to keep doing business in China, it had to sign a deal in 2017 that would see customer data collected on mainland China stored locally in accordance with Chinese regulation. Well, what could go wrong? Actually, quite a bit. A piece from the site The Conversation has a blood-chilling story of a Chinese hackathon. Back in 2019, Apple patched an active exploit in iOS that the company said was narrowly focused on sites of interest to China's Uyghur community. The piece says it has since emerged that the vulnerability in question was discovered at China's principal hacking competition, the Tianfu Cup, where a professional hacker won a prize for his work in uncovering it. The normal protocol would be to inform Apple of the vulnerability, but it's alleged that instead, the breach was kept secret, with the Chinese government acquiring it to spy on the country's Muslim minority. But, this is different or something. Sort of along the lines of a free Apple Watch with the purchase of a car, incoming freshmen at the University of Nevada are said to receive free iPads this fall. Apple Insider says the school has done a deal with Apple for new students to get an iPad Air, a smart keyboard folio, and an Apple Pencil as part of the school's Digital Wolfpack initiative. The tablets will also come with Pages, Numbers, and Keynote pre-installed. While I might quibble over the use of the term free, I kind of groove on the hardware for everybody plan. Brian Sandoval, president of the University of Nevada, Reno, is quoted in the piece. He is stoked to provide a common learning platform that delivers equal access to technology and digital tools to his students. Hardware is not all the school's getting out of Apple. Apple will provide training to students on using the products, apps, and coding through its Apple Professional Learning Program, according to Apple Insider. More news in a moment, but first a word from Headspace. Meditation made simple. I tried a new walking meditation last night. Add Some Joy, it's called. Sure, I could have been listening to news podcasts to make my blood boil. Instead, my guide Kelton walked me through reflecting on people and things for which I'm grateful. And yes, that made me feel better. Now, while I've been using Headspace for months, and while I have enjoyed the walking meditations, I seriously just last night found Headspace move. I am genuinely excited to try mindful cardio over the next few days. So how could I have been using Headspace for months and just come across this feature? Well, that's just how expansive Headspace is, and how many different mindfulness offerings Headspace has. They make it easy for you to build a life-changing meditation practice with mindfulness that works for you, on your schedule, anytime, anywhere. You deserve to feel happier, and Headspace is meditation made simple. Go to headspace.com/macOSKen. That's headspace.com/macOSKen for a free 1-month trial with access to Headspace's full library of meditations for every situation. This is the best deal offered right now. Head to headspace.com/macOSKen today. A frustrating day for iCloud Mail users actually wanting to use iCloud Mail on Thursday. Friend of the show Paul let me know that the service was down, while iMore told everybody else. Well, everybody who wasn't checking Apple's system status page. Checking that, it looks like the service was slow or unavailable for 5.5 hours, 6:30 a.m. to noon on the West Coast, 9:30 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon back east. That's not a busy time for email, is it? Nominations for shows already out and teasing a title to come. 2 tales of Apple TV Plus today. First, the Mac Observer says the Cupertino streamer's kid shows Ghostwriter and Helpsters are both in the running for this year's Daytime Emmy Awards. Just playing the numbers, Ghostwriter has the best shot at an award. That's because it's been nominated for 5 to the 1 nomination for Helpsters. TMO has Ghostwriter up for Outstanding Sound Mixing and Editing for a drama or daytime fiction program, Outstanding Art Direction, Set Direction, Scenic Design for a drama or daytime fiction program, Outstanding Hairstyling for a drama or daytime fiction program, Outstanding Music Direction and Composition for a daytime program, and Outstanding Lighting Direction for a drama or daytime fiction program. These are the Daytime Emmys. Do we really have to say daytime for everything? I guess we do. The Helpsters nomination is for Outstanding Costume, Design, Styling. Wait a minute, is that on the daytime? I'm not sure now. The 2021 Daytime Emmys will air on Friday, the 25th of June on CBS. I don't know whether that's daytime or nighttime. I will tell you, though, it's kind of a weird thing to think about. Airing and scheduled broadcasts are apparently things they still do. An Apple TV Plus show that is definitely not for kids got a new promo on Thursday. iMore says the Cupertino streamer dropped a trailer for the Rose Byrne dark comedy Physical. Set against the aerobics craze of the 1980s, I sort of hate recapping trailers for a couple of reasons. First, spoilers, and second, they're short. It would take you like 3 minutes or less to watch the whole thing for yourself. Here's what I will say. It looks twisted. I think in a good way. Apple TV Plus is set to get Physical on Friday, the 18th of June. Between now and then, you can watch the trailer on YouTube. Seriously, it's less than 3 minutes. And finally today, Facebook has paid for an academic study that, hey, what do you know, takes Facebook's side on app tracking transparency. Apple Insider says the paper, written by someone from the University of Florida Levin College of Law, someone from the Harvard Business School, and paid for by Facebook, is called Harming Competition and Consumers Under the Guise of Protecting Privacy. Quoting part of the paid for by Facebook paper, while thinly veiled as a privacy-protecting measure, Apple's iOS 14 policy changes harm the entire ad-supported ecosystem, from developers to advertisers to end consumers. By sharply limiting the ability of third-party apps to create value through personalized advertising, Apple's policy changes undermine competition. Of course, Apple is not limiting that ability. They're just requiring apps and advertisers to get the user's permission. The problem, according to the people paid by Facebook, is that Apple is too misleading and users are too gullible to, decide for themselves. Quoting Apple Insider again, the writers of this paper describe how Apple's messaging allegedly uses stark, biased, and misleading terms, which diminish consumers' abilities to make meaningful and informed choices about data use. If I were smarter, I think I might be insulted. Coming up in a few minutes, remember when that show was in the test kitchen? Today, Parallel host Shelley Brisbane plays that age-old game, who would you invite to dinner? Entertaining conversation is on the menu at Shelley Brisbane's dinner party. The show is called In a Few Minutes. Find it and listen wherever you find and listen to podcasts. macOS Can, brought to you by me and sponsored by Headspace. Meditation made simple. Get a free 1-month trial at headspace.com/macOScan. This show is also supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/macOScan. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media, online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. Info at macoscan.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Can. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.